Hey, what's up everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs. Got my man Rondell behind the camera. On our way to the vitamin shop to pick up a couple of things, but also I wanted to answer a few questions that came in from a particular Instagram follower and YouTube follower. His name is Lo. I appreciate you, Lo. Shout out to you for asking a question. If you guys have any questions in regards to real estate or business in general, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You know, this helps me create more content for the channel. It helps me create more content for you. And whether I answer it through a video like this or by replying to you personally, you know, you'll get your question answered. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people that contact me every single day, so I can't get back to everybody. But if I see a common question come in, I'm going to take the time to answer that question, because that means it's going to help multiple people out at one time. So we're going to answer this question or these questions, and we're also going to get this truck washed as well, because this thing is filthy.
All right, so basically he wants to know how to verify whether the seller has a mortgage or not.
Okay, so basically, Lo, you want to know how to find out if a seller has a mortgage or not without asking if they have a mortgage, right? Is that what he's asking?
Yep.
All right, cool. So really, you know, the best way to find out if a seller has a mortgage or not is to ask him. You know, but you want to know how to do it if you don't ask him. I know that PropStream, and I'm going to leave a link in the description box for you guys to be able to check it out. You can get a trial with PropStream, but I know PropStream has a tool that allows you to look up how much a seller's mortgage can potentially be, and that's obviously an estimate. You know, you can't get accurate information unless you ask the seller or you contact their bank. So what PropStream does, and I think Zillow does it as well, I can't remember, I got to look into it, but what they do is they'll look at how much you actually paid for the house, and then they'll look at the amount of time that you actually own the house, and then what will happen is they'll give you an estimate of how much you can potentially owe at that point. So that's the easiest way that I personally know of. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm an expert in that. I don't spend too much time, you know, focusing on that personally. If I want to know something, honestly, Lo, I'm going to ask the seller. You know, and if the seller provides me with the information, that's just another sign of motivation. That leaves the conversation open for you to be able to, you know, dig into the seller a little bit, find out their motivations a little bit more. So really, instead of trying to get around finding out if the seller has a mortgage and all of this other stuff, I would be asking the seller. Keep that conversation open and use that as arsenal to be able to negotiate with them at the price points that you need them at in order to be able to create a deal. So I hope that answers the first part of your question, man. You know, at the end of the day, you know, yes, you can use PropStream and you can use these other tools, but and like I said, I'll leave a link in the description box for you. But in reality, the best way to do it is to simply ask the seller for their information. That's the most accurate information that you're going to be able to get. One of my favorite proteins is Dymatize. I'm not advertising them, but this is all I drink really. So I'm gonna get the chocolate peanut butter. I like to focus on macros versus calories. So I take in, you know, at one point I was up to like 300 grams of protein, but now I'm down to about 230. And my carbs are down to about 200, and my fats are right around 50. I'm in lean mode right now. I'm actually cutting, and you know, the thing with cutting is you got to be consistent. So a good amount of my protein comes from powders and the chicken and egg whites and stuff like that. You can see they got the Cocoa Pebbles, and they also got the Fruity Pebbles. The Fruity Pebbles is real good as well. I just had the Fruity Pebbles. My daughter, she likes the chocolate peanut butter, so I'm gonna go with this one today. And then I might get a Cocoa Pebbles as well. But one of the best proteins that they got is this one right here. The gourmet chocolate is good. They also have another chocolate one, fudge brownie. Check out fudge brownie. That's like phenomenal. This is it right here, matter of fact, fudge brownie. Phenomenal.
The flavor?
Yeah.
I haven't had the strawberry one.
No.
But everybody likes the flavors, yeah.
All of them are good. All right, everybody. So we back in the car. And Lo, you had another question in regards to comps. We're on our way to get this truck washed. So while I'm on my way over there, we're gonna answer that question, all right? So look, you had a question in regards to comparable sales and how to use Zillow in order to find comparable sales. There's a couple of things you want to keep in mind. I got videos on this stuff already, but I'll answer your question right here. You said you watched my comparable sale video, but one thing I just need to clarify in the video is what you're looking for when it comes to running comps on a house. I'm trying to think and watch the traffic at the same time. So look, when it comes to comparable sales, there's a couple of things you want to keep in mind. Number one, you're comparing apples to apples, right? So what you really want to do is find like and kind properties. For example, if you have a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath ranch style home that's right around 1,500 square feet, then you should be looking for 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath ranch style homes right around 1,500 square feet. What appraisers do, and if you're an appraiser watching this video, be sure to verify this information in the comment section. Let me know if I'm right or wrong, but I'm telling you, this is what appraisers, at least in the markets that I've ever done business in, and I've done business in multiple markets, this is what they do. And I've rehabbed a lot of houses as well, so I know this. What appraisers do is they'll take every house within a 200 square foot range. So if the house is 1,500 square feet, they're going to take everything from 13 to 1,700 square feet. That is like in kind to the property. So if your house is 1,500 square feet, they're going to pull everything that's 1,300 square feet to 1,700 square feet. That's a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath ranch style home within a 1/4 mile to a 1/2 mile radius. In more suburban or more rural areas, they're going to go further out. All right. So what matters when it comes to comparable sales is the style of home that you're comping. If you can find like and kind properties that's similar to it. What also matters is the distance and then the price range, right? There's a couple other factors that play into that as well, but just to keep it really simple, you want to compare apples to apples within the same price range and relatively close to the house that you're pulling. So how do you do that on Zillow was your question. On Zillow, you can pull comparable sales. Don't ever use the Zestimate to get a true value on a house. First and foremost, the only true way to get a value on a house is to get an appraisal, and even that's faulty at the same time as well. Because you can get 2 different appraisals, and then 2 different appraisers can come in at 2 different price points. All right? So the most accurate way to get it is by getting an appraisal. The real value of a property comes from what someone's willing to pay for the house at the end of the day. Okay, so what you want to do is you just want to get an idea of what a house is worth. On Zillow, you can do that by checking recently sold houses. So up at the top on Zillow, they have like this drop down menu. It says for sale. If you click on that drop down, you will be able to select sold, and you deselect everything else, right? And if you watch my video, I showed you exactly how to do this, and I'll throw that video up at the top for you again so you can go back and check it out. But really, all you're doing is you're looking for sold houses, and then on the right hand side of the page, as you're looking at the screen on the right hand side of the page, in the side column, you're going to see a section that's going to have all of those sold houses that pops up. All you need to do is go through the houses and look for similar houses to the one that you're looking at, and then be able to get an estimate of what your house is worth by pulling, let's say, the closest 3 to 5 of those, and then getting an average number. So if I had, let's say, 3 houses, I'm going to add those numbers up, then divide it by the amount of houses that I'm actually running. So if it's 3 houses, I'm going to divide that number by 3. If it's 5 houses, I'm going to divide that number by 5. And that's how you can get an estimate of what your house can potentially be worth when you're looking for comparable sales. This is only monthly packages. And look, bro, I'm going right to Battleground, son. These bugging here, son. So it's time to dry this car off. Then we're gonna get this final question in from Lo and wrap this thing up. All right, so we just got finished washing this this truck and on my way back to the house. And I wanted to answer Lo's last question. It wasn't really a question, it was more so a statement. And I just wanted to elaborate on his statement a little bit. He mentioned that he wanted to get into lease options, short-term buy and hold game. Really, when it comes to lease options, it could be a long-term or short-term hold. And you could obviously use it for short-term rental purposes or long-term rental purposes. But when it comes to lease options, the best thing about lease options is you get to control a property but not have full ownership responsibilities of the property. So essentially, one of the reasons I use lease options is to get a seller out of having to do a short sale, right? So if a seller is underwater on a property, let's say, for example, and they needed to sell their property, but no one's able to purchase the property because there's no equity in the property. You could build equity in the property over time, right? So you could do that through what's called a lease option, a long-term lease option. We're talking like 10 years or longer. All right, so that's one reason I use a lease option. Another reason is the seller doesn't want to give up their ownership aspect of the property. They still want the ownership benefits. So what you do is you go ahead and you do a lease option. You still take control of the property, but you just don't have ownership of the property. You're still profitable on the property, but you just don't own it. All right. Lease option to me is always a great secondary option outside of seller financing or subject to it and things like that. A lease option is definitely a viable way to go. All right, everybody, so I'm back here at the house. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.